Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans, welcome to Rangers. Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and let's strengthen our community. Now let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. Wop, let's get to the news. Let me tell you something, folks. The streets of Govan are buzzing, the boozers are roaring, and the forums are melting down. There's no question about it, something's brewing inside the heart of the Rangers support. And at the center of it are none other than John SOUTTAR. You heard me right. Big SOUTTAR himself. Now before we get into the meat of it, let's roll it back just a wee bit. The laddie's been a reliable name at the back for Rangers this past season, stepping up when called upon given. Everything on the pitch, or so we thought. But now there's a right storm stirring, all because of what he did, or more like what he didn't do with the Scotland national team. Reports are coming through the grapevine, whispers here, murmurs there, and let's be honest, the fans are really taking it lightly. This isn't just a one-off grumble either. This feels like the kind of thing that causes real divide between club loyalties and international commitments. Is SOUTTAR playing games, or is there more to the story than we're being told? Let's unpack this, cause the Tartan Army's loss seems to be Ibrox's fury. So here's what went down. Scotland had a pair of crucial matches, games that could make or break their rhythm ahead of the big tournaments coming up. The kind of fixtures that need grit leadership experience. And who better than John SOUTTAR, right? That's what everybody thought. But here's the catch. SOUTTAR withdrew. Now we get it, players pull out all the time. Sometimes it's genuine injury, sometimes it's fitness concerns, other times it's personal matters, but this withdrawal, it was different. The timing, the silence, the vagueness, it raised eyebrows faster than a last-minute winner at Parkhead. And just when fans were trying to piece it together, boom! Photos pop up online. SOUTTAR not in rehab, not resting, not on crutches. No, the man was seen training at Auchenhowie like nothing happened. Fit as a fiddle, running drills sharp. As ever. That's when the alarm bell started ringing. You can't just pull out of national duty and then show up fresh-faced at club training 3 days later without expecting backlash. And trust me, the backlash came. Loud, relentless, and unforgiving. The Rangers faithful felt torn. Some backed him, others they felt betrayed. The lines between professionalism and passion got mighty blurry mighty quick. Now look, let's be real here. SOUTTAR's been through a lot in his career. Injuries that would end most careers, setbacks that test a man's soul. He's fought his way back into the Scotland fold, made himself count at Rangers, and proven time and again that he's no soft touch. But that's precisely why this whole thing stings so much for the fans. Cause it's him. If it was some lad who barely got a look in, folk might wave it off. But SOUTTAR has become one of the key pillars at Ibrox. He's the type you expect. Tay stand up, not sit out. The problem here is perception. And perception can be deadly in Scottish football. Did he prioritize Rangers over Scotland? Did he fake an excuse to avoid injury risk before Champions League qualifiers? Or is this all just a daft coincidence blown way short of proportion by the social media mob? The truth is nobody's got a straight answer. And when the truth hides, speculation fills the void. And let's face it, in this country, speculation spreads like wildfire after a derby loss. Suddenly every pundit's got a theory, every expro's got a story, and every fan's got a fume. What's even more interesting is how quiet the SFA's been. Normally when a player withdraws, there's a statement, a line or two about injury or well-being. But this time, radio silence. Nada. Not even a peep from Steve Clark. That's suspicious, right? You've got a center-back crisis brewing. Your big names are dropping like flies. And yet one of the fittest defenders available just quietly bows, no explanation, no replacement, no drama. Come on. That only fuels the fire. And Rangers aren't saying much either. They're letting it simmer. But maybe that's a strategy. Keep the heat away from the club, let the lad handle the flack. Or maybe, just maybe, they're complicit in it. A quiet agreement, a mutual understanding. Don't risk yourself for Clark, we need you fit for Europe. If that's the case, it's murky waters indeed. Because if Rangers are starting to control international availability, then Scottish football's in for a messy ride. And SOUTTAR, he's smack bang in the middle of it, whether he likes it or not. Folk are choosing sides, and when supporters feel like their players are playing favorites, it rarely ends well. But let's take a moment and talk about the emotional side, cause this is Scotland after all, and we're a passionate bunch. When a player dons the blue jersey at Ibrox, he's adored. When he wears the dark blue of the national team, he's revered. So what happens when it feels like he's picking one over the other? Fans feel cheated. That's what's happened here. There's a sense among the Tartan army that SOUTTAR's turned his back on them. It's not even about one game. It's about loyalty, pride, and the weight of the badge. When you play for Scotland, you're not just representing a team, you're representing a nation, a history, a struggle. You're representing the highs of 78 and the heartbreaks of 98. So when someone pulls out, especially without clarity, it feels like a betrayal. And that emotional burn, it lingers, especially among those who followed him since hearts who saw his rise, who cheered his comeback. They expected more. They expected better. And instead they feel abandoned. SOUTTAR's silence hasn't helped. In the age of instant communication, saying nothing says everything. And that, my friends, is how reputations begin to unravel. And didn't think for a second this is just about SOUTTAR. No, this has opened up a can of worms bigger than any Buckfast bottle you've ever seen. Now fans are pointing fingers at others. Who's next to bail on the national team? Are club managers pulling strings behind the scenes? Is there a culture shift happening where players see international breaks as risks, not honors? It's a slippery slope, and SOUTTAR's situation has poured grease all over it. There's even talk now about future Caleb's being affected. Could this impact SOUTTAR's place in the next squad? Will Clark even trust him again? Or has he burned that bridge for good? That's the beauty and the tragedy of football in this part of the world. You can be a hero 1 month, a villain the next. And it's all because of perception, passion, and a whole lot of pride. And let's not forget SOUTTAR's got younger fans looking up to him. They see these choices. They mimic these moves. What message does this send to the next generation? That club comes before country, that loyalty is negotiable, that silence is golden. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Still, despite all the flack, there's a section of the Rangers support rallying behind SOUTTAR. They're saying, look, he's our man. He's protecting himself. We need him for Europe. We need him fresh. And that's fair enough. After all, Rangers have got a brutal run of fixtures coming up and no room for defensive mishaps. SOUTTAR being fit and ready is a major boost. They argue that Clark overuses players, doesn't rotate enough, and has been guilty of pushing lads too hard in meaningless friendlies. Maybe SOUTTAR's just protecting his career. You gotta remember, this is a man who's had multiple Achilles injuries, long rehab stints, and doctors telling him his career might be done before 30. If he's making calculated decisions, who are we to judge? But the issue isn't about one game. It's about transparency, communication. If SOUTTAR had just said, look, I'm not 100% or I need to manage my workload, fans might have understood. But the silence, that's what did the damage. It allowed folk to write their own stories, build their own narratives, and in the end paint SOUTTAR as the villain in a drama he maybe never meant to be in. And what about the dressing room dynamics? That's another spicy wee angle. You think the Scotland camp's just gonna forget about this? Not a chance. Players talk, managers notice, relationships matter. If one guy skips out and the others are grafting away, it breeds resentment. Now picture the next Scotland Caleb. SOUTTAR walks in. How does that go down? Cold shoulders, awkward silences, a wee passive-aggressive joke in the canteen. That's what happens when trust gets bruised. And on the flip side, what about Ibrox? Do the other players now see SOUTTAR as someone who puts club above all else? Or is he just being smart, calculating his future? These are the kind of moments that shape locker rooms. Football is not just tactics and training drills. It's human emotion, ego, ambition. If this situation spirals, SOUTTAR could find himself isolated on both fronts. And that's dangerous. A player without unity is like a ship without a rudder. He needs to pick a side, or better yet, bridge the gap before it widens further. Because once you're seen as a divider, not a uniter, especially in Scottish football, it's hard to come back from that. Now here's the real kicker. Imagine SOUTTAR, does he play the next few Rangers games? Imagine he ends up injured anyway. Can you imagine the fallout? The meltdown would be seismic. It would vindicate every critic, embolden every doubter, and fuel a media frenzy that could eat the poor lad alive. That's the fine line he's treading now. One misstep and the narrative becomes gospel. And it wouldn't just hurt his rep. It'd hurt Rangers too. The board, the management, the medical team, all would be dragged into the spotlight. Questions would be asked. Decisions scrutinized, trust tested. It's a pressure cooker, and SOUTTAR is sitting right on the cage. Lead. One more degree and it explodes. So if there's any injury managing going on, it better be flawless. The optics are brutal. He must play and play well. Otherwise the whispers turn into roars. The fans that backed him, they'll turn. The ones who doubted him, they'll gloat. And the headlines they'll write themselves. Because this ain't just about football anymore. It's about reputation, legacy, and whether or not you respect the shirt you once proudly wore. And here's the thing. This story's over. Not by a long shot. There'll be interview statements, maybe even a wee press conference if the pressure keeps building. Clark might speak, SOUTTAR might post something, or maybe it all fizzles out and we move on. But for now, the rumor mill is churning faster than a Celtic fan after a last-minute Rangers winner. Every day there's new sources, new claims, new interpretations, and for a fan base as fiery as Rangers, this is prime drama. It's the kind of saga that divides mates at the pub, creates endless threads online, and fills hours of pundit chatter. And if you think this is just a footnote in the summer, think again. This'll follow SOUTTAR for a while. Next Scotland. Cal up. Next Rangers performance. Even next Derby match. This cloud hangs heavy, and unless it's cleared either by truth or triumph, it's gonna pour. So I keep your eyes peeled, folks. John SOUTTAR might just be at the center of Scottish football's latest storm. And you know what? It's only just begun. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.